And when you talk about press intrusion, there was one area that particularly annoyed you, I know, and that was a particular question about your sexuality. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't realise this, but I was amused, forgive me for being amused, that you were first asked about this when how old were you?
I was, I think, 16.
16. You were asked about that. I mean, you're a child, not making your mind up. You've always said that you're not gay. You've always said that your sexual experiences have been with women. Is all of that true?
Well, that's true, but you know, I've thought about this for a long time.
I bet. Yeah.
I'm not straight.
You're not.
And this is only something that very recently, we're talking in the past 2 weeks, I've been comfortable telling the closest people around me exactly that.
What decided you to come out now?
Well, I've wanted to for some time. But I couldn't. I didn't feel as though I could. You know, the problem was I was asked at such a young age about my sexuality. And, you know, I went to an all-boys school, and if you get, you know, and I hate that it's called an accusation because it isn't a negative thing, and usually this is the terminology we use. But I went to an all-boys school, so if you're accused of being gay, the first answer is no, and then you get ready for a fight. This is what happens. And I didn't know at this age. I'm too young. And so the answer was no. Then, you know, I carried this, that the next way I'd answer this is telling people that I thought it was inappropriate to be asking a child, you know, such kind of questions.
And that's certainly true.
And also that it's not appropriate for that question to be asked of anyone.
No.
But what happened was I felt the lie had become so big that I didn't want people to question my integrity. And, you know, a little bit of ego comes into this. I didn't want people to question that, you know, have I lied about everything?
Well, I did lie about it.
Yes, I did.
You did?
I did. Everyone does.
You don't feel ashamed of that, do you?
No, I don't. You know, and I'm saying, and I'm comfortable saying I'm a gay man. Mm. And I don't want young people to feel the same way that I did. You can grow up, you can be comfortable, and you can be gay. I was concerned about the reaction from my family, my friends, and I'm pleased to say that in telling them, and especially my parents, you know, they told me that they love me and they support me. And for young people out there, know that that's usually what the answer is.
Do you think your parents were shocked by the revelation? Or do you think that they had, particularly your mum, might have shown?
They were shocked.
They were shocked, were they?
Yeah, my mum literally said she was shocked.
Really?
Yes.
Really? And your close friends, similarly too, did they say to you, maybe we would know that all along?
No, you know, my friends were a little bit more like, okay, you know, fair enough. And they said, you know, we had some suspicions. And, you know, I confirmed that, and, you know, they were great. And I needed my friends first. I told them first.
And what about the business of concealing this again? Because, I mean, you know, you sought psychiatric help. You didn't tell the psychiatrist this at all.
Yeah, I had never spoken to a psychiatrist about this until, well, actually, I hadn't until I told, you know, people. And then my psychiatrist happened to ring me up and say, how are you going? And I said, by the way, I just came out. He went, okay, I hope it all went well. But, you know, I concealed this, and I think that I've held this as such a weight, and there's so much pain in this. And the discussion, that I had anger around this because I felt like I shouldn't have been asked about it. If I wasn't asked, I feel as though I would have been much younger when I came out and being comfortable about this.
Yes.
I would have, lived. I wouldn't have lived a very different life, but I could have been proud of the fact that yes, I'm out.
Yes, I mean, it is. I mean, it was your own choice to actually back up this answering this question and live with the consequences of it. And what you've been telling me before this about the kind of state you were in, the depression, you must now consider that maybe this secret might have been the real cause of your depression.
I don't think it's the real cause. No. I think that it hasn't helped. I know that it hasn't helped. And, now it will be something that I work on with a doctor. He's, trying to, live a lie. Which I was doing, but I was already living somewhat of a lie, in my life, because I was trying to be what I thought was the right athlete by other people's standards. I wanted to make people proud. I wanted to make my family proud. I wanted to make my nation proud of me. And part of me didn't know if Australia wanted its champion to be gay. But, I'm telling not only Australia, I'm telling the world that I am. And I hope it makes this easier for others now. And even if you've held it in for years, it feels better to lift this and get this out.
Have you thought this through to the extent of planning ahead? Going back to Australia, facing, the media is still there. Those that criticised before are going to make fun of us. So whatever they will do, it won't be comfortable for, I don't think, for a while. But you must imagine too that the Aussie public would accept you back. They've always loved you, no matter what.
Yeah, I think I know that people don't care about this. And I've made it a bigger deal than it needed to be. And if I answered this simply, earlier, it would have been a lot easier in my life. People will criticize me. Some people won't like the idea. Other people may applaud me for it. But it's me.
And importantly, it's yes, you made that decision, and now it's done. So now you start. Well, it's basically actually a new life in a sense, isn't it?
Well, it is. I've been so caught up in this that, I am looking forward to being able to get on with my life, to not have any secrets, and that it's all out there. I am a person who doesn't just go out there and tell everyone everything about myself. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But, this is one thing that I'm now comfortable with. And it's out there, and we get on with things. Nothing changed. I, didn't change the weather or anything else when it happened.
Nobody died.
No.
Thinking back over your life now, reflecting on all the reasons why you didn't come out before now, was there one main reason that dissuaded you from being frank?
Not one main reason, but you hear things. I heard, a lot of homophobic kind of things. I mean, I was subjected to homophobic kind of insults as well.
An example.
People in the street, would yell out, call me a faggot or whatever else. Poof for doing this. Or
They're taking a bit of risk with somebody your size, weren't they?
Well, that's right. But I'm also told, I've got to manage myself and, don't get in a fight, it will be in the paper and then someone will sue and all of that rubbish. But, if I had a chance to deck all of the people that I felt like I'd be in jail by now. So I'm glad I haven't. But you hear these remarks and, things around someone's career, their marketability and things like that that kept me in this lie that became a convenient lie for me to not accept it because I wasn't accepting it in myself. I didn't want to be gay. But, I realized everything that I was doing, I still was gay at the end of the day. So that was most definitely part of it. And then it was just that big lie that I felt there was a weight with that. And also what people's reaction was going to be. I was scared.
What I don't quite understand is that you did have relations with girls.
Yeah.
Before this. Mm-hmm. But you'd also meet attractive men who you'd actually fall for and think that would be nice to go out with him and that was the...
No, I wouldn't.
You didn't? You never...
I'd recognise attractive men, but I'd never really consider hooking up with them because I was scared of people finding out.
Yes.
That was what I was worried about.
Yes.
So I was, trying to avoid all of this, any emotion, any feeling that I had towards, good-looking men.
What did you feel when you were insulted in the street? I mean, apart from that, did you feel sorrow for your fellow man or what? I mean, what were the feelings when you walked down the streets and they called you a faggot and you can see that hatred in their eyes and their voice?
Yeah, I felt sorry for them that this is, how they feel. But it's still, it's painful. And then, I feel myself draw, further and further into the closet because of it. But I also have friends that get implicated into this. And this is what probably hurt me the most over the years is that, my life is public, it's become public. Part of that is not a choice. And I want parts of it to be private and have these real boundaries. But, when my friends get accused that, I haven't been doing these things in the public and they're just my mates. That's all they are.
Yes.
And I know in saying this now, my close friends are gonna be accused of being, my lover. And it's happened before.
When did it happen before?
It happened in 2009. My housemate, who'd lived with me, I was on a vacation in Brazil, and we're in Brazil. There was a photo, and instantly, this is my lover. He was my housemate, one of my best mates. But he's then drawn into this, and I loathe that because I have always tried to protect everyone else from what I'm doing.
You have to face the facts, of course, that, this story is a big story, and that your life is going to be under the same kind of scrutiny, if not intensified, from now on. You're going to be...
Yes.
And you're prepared for this, are you?
No, I accept that.
You accept that,
I accept that completely.
Right. Because you're not living the lie anymore, you don't need to be frightened of, you've come clean, and they can't ask you the question because you've answered it.
That's right. And look, the only thing is I'm a little bit ashamed that I didn't come out earlier. That I didn't have the strength to do it. I didn't have the courage to do it, to break that lie. But everyone goes on their own path to do this. But I just don't want that struggle to be so hard for other people.
It will transform your life, hopefully, for the better.
I hope so. I think so.
You do?
I do think so. Even from, and this is very new for me, telling my parents and close people, they reflected and said, it's like you're not a different person, but a happier person, a person that they know. that they remember.
How old were you when your father made that extraordinary remark where he said to the media, "We've lost him to the world"?
Yeah, he said, "I think I've just lost my son to the world." I was 15 at the World Championships. It's quite profound.
Yeah, it's certainly prophetic, isn't it? When you look back at it.
It was accurate.
Yes.
It really was. And, you know, my parents have wanted more than anything else is to have their son back.